First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Gainesville's new one-stop center for the homeless is not fully open yet, but is already planning to close some areas to save money. That's our top story for Thursday, September 18th. I'm Taylor Nunez.
And I'm Chloe Craig. The shelter says it's a financial issue. WUFT's Nicole Acevedo was at the shelter earlier today and joins us now. Nicole, what kind of problems is the shelter running into?
Well, Chloe, the directors of the shelter are actually saying that they really can't afford to keep the outdoor pavilion and their chapel open any longer. Local commissioners approved a budget of $300,000 back in 2007, but now it's up and running and building out full services. Those in charge say the budget level is not enough for a one-stop service.
How I feel bad. I really do. I feel bad. I wish I could help, but I can't.
Rachel Morrison doesn't want to see any part of the new center closed down. She says Grace Marketplace has changed her life.
Well, I used to be a drug addict until I got here. I've been clean for 4 weeks now.
The facility is building out to provide food, shelter, clean water, and other amenities to people like Rachel. But after only 4 months of opening their doors to the homeless, the budget isn't working.
Once we got onto the campus and we did our project planning, we realized it's going to cost about $550,000 a year to run this. So we are automatically about a $250,000 deficit each year just to provide the level of services that are called for in our contract.
The money is meant to pay for utilities, staff, taxes, and upkeep of these facilities. To save money, 2 of the shelter's facilities are soon going to close.
Cutting back on the chapel and the pavilion, we'll cut another $2,000 or $3,000 out of that. We're cutting back staff costs. We're cutting down everything we possibly can.
The pavilion area closes. They plan to offer indoor housing as another option.
They're trying to have a life here, and when they first came here, they thought that this was their answer, their thing, and maybe not their forever, but they needed to pretend that it was for a minute so they could feel stable and function. And it's had its problems lately, but if you don't fund this and you don't give it a chance to be fully 100% operational, how can you criticize it?
The search is now on for additional funding. The rollout has been a work in progress, and the target date is now October 1st for the opening of the indoor shelter. When they also close the pavilion, if they don't have enough capacity, they will try to help find the homeless alternatives a place to stay.
For over 3 years, the Turkey Creek Golf Course community has lived with its golf course being closed. But 2 residents, John Tingu and Forrest Hope, are hoping to change that. They've laid out a plan to fix the golf course and even add shops and restaurants to make Turkey Creek more popular to people all over Alachua. After a year of planning and weeks of meetings and presentations, they made a breakthrough on Tuesday night, getting the approval of the Turkey Creek Master Owner Association.
I think by the golf course reopening, it will be a very strong indication that this economy is back, at least in this area, and that we will be able to improve the property values of all our homeowners.
Later this month, they will have a meeting with investors. If that goes well, then the project to clean up the golf course will start as early as October. They're hoping the course will reopen along with a golf shop and a restaurant by next June.
The city of Gainesville may take an environmental stand that would further drive up costs for GRU customers. The city commission could decide tonight whether GRU would refuse to buy coal mined through mountaintop removal. If the resolution passes, GRU would instead have to purchase deep mine coal. GRU estimates the change could increase fuel expenses up to $1.6 million a year.
UF's College of Engineering is receiving a $1 million donation that will go toward a new showcase facility. The gift from the co-founder of Mindtree will go towards Planned Engineering Innovation Nexus building. Still in the design phase, the facility will be located near the Wrights Union and will feature modern classrooms and special labs.
I think the university's decision to invest money in this building greatly reflects their desire to invest in resources that we will be able to use in the future.
It's a $53 million project that will take more than 2 years to complete. We want to disclose that our news operation is also UF-based, housed in the College of Journalism and Communications. Well, it was another hot day in Central Florida, but luckily most areas remain dry.
UF forecaster Sean Bellafury is in the Weather Center right now and has more on if it will remain dry this evening. Sean?
Well, besides the one shower in Levy County right now, most areas will remain dry as we make our way through the evening hours. Beautiful look right now over the University of Florida's campus and Florida Field at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium right now, but there is just that one shower in Levy County. It's going to be moving towards Highway 19 very shortly, but should dissipate within the next 30 minutes. A little bit closer to home, though, tonight's low temperature is 69 degrees in Gainesville, 68 in Lake City, and 68 in Ocala. A little bit muggy, but still an overall beautiful night. But I'm tracking the return of rain showers. I'll let you know when they arrive coming up in my main weather forecast.
Polls opened all across Scotland this morning in a referendum to determine if Scotland should remain part of the United Kingdom or declare independence. Turnout is expected to be high, with more than 4 million people registered to vote. Voters will be answering yes or no to the referendum question, should Scotland be an independent country? Each voter will try to sort out the hype and scare tactics on both sides of the debate.
I just don't believe that the yes campaign was convincing enough about, how it could go wrong.
The result may not be known until tomorrow morning. For much more on the debate and the potential consequences, stay tuned for BBC World News.
It's now the U.S. Senate's turn to decide whether to authorize funding for the training and arming of Syrian rebels to help fight the Islamic State. NBC's Steve Handelsman has more.
An ISIS suspect far from Iraq and Syria. This was Sydney, Australia. Police are holding 6 people who the Prime Minister charges got orders from a senior ISIS leader to behead random Australians.
To conduct demonstration killings here in this country.
The U.S. faces that danger, say federal officials.
That Americans will take U.S. passports after fighting with ISIS, after training with ISIS to come back and commit unspeakable acts of terror here at home.
To fight ISIS, the Senate is set to follow the House and okay training and arming moderate Syrian rebels.
So there are moderates. If we train and equip them, they can be effective.
Part of the president's determination that it would not be in the national security interest of the United States to put American boots on the ground in Syria in a combat role.
But some see another Iraq war that could end in chaos.
Intervention is not always the answer and often leads to unintended consequences.
My fear, and I think the fear of the American people, is we've all heard this before. We've all lived through this already.
So what's the alternative? Do nothing?
But this is not Iraq. This is a totally different thing.
Near Baghdad today, the Iraqi army cleared roads and set out to take territory back from ISIS. The Australians sent military advisors to help, and the French formally announced they will bomb ISIS in Iraq. I'm Steve Handelsman, NBC News, Washington.
The estimate is it will take months, maybe a year, to get 5,000 Syrian rebels ready to fight effectively.
There's much more to come on WUFT News First at 5. With flu season approaching, find out why some doctors are asking parents to vaccinate their children as early as 6 months old.
And after the break, find out why Abe Lincoln and Gandalf were together at Lake Forest Elementary School this morning. We'll be back in 90 seconds.